Welcome back to our channel, friends. This side Sonia here, and today we are going to do a decoupage work on tray. Now that we have done already so many times, but today is something really special, and our tray has some beautiful vintage legs with some beautiful rustic work, and of course the tips and tricks in this video is really going to help you for your further projects. So yes, this can be used as a proper tray, and this can be also used as a decor piece for your home, for your center table, and for any of the corner of your house. So yes, in this one I have used some really nice musical theme notes, and I have done loads of stamping and some really nice color blending work. So let's get started. Now this is my raw tray base. This is an MDF tray and I'm going to work on this. Now this tray does not have any work on this, and now I will be prepping up my base, and for prepping up my base I am going to take my gesso. Now I am using my Camel gesso, and this I have been using for like years now, almost 2-3 years, and I'm still using it. So this is the first jar which I had got, and it's so helpful to me, and you can already realize that how much quantity one gesso bottle has. So that, like I said, I have been using this for almost 2-3 years now. Okay, now I'm just going to prep up my base completely. Now why do we need to prep up our base? So the colors, the mediums, the paints, the chalk paints, they don't work very well with on all the mediums, so you need to prep up our base. So for example, if you have a glass bottle and if you want to work on that, I would highly suggest you to go and start with your gesso work first, and then you do your coloring work or the other mediums work, whatever you want to do. Gesso helps in having that adherence to that base, so that whichever mediums you work with, it stays well on your base, and that is more important, because if your base color is not sticking well, then whatever you do, it's going to come out. Even if you use varnish on it, you will definitely see a change in that. So that is really important. So I highly recommend Camel gesso, which I've been using for years now. There are many other brands available, you can try those also. And if you are a beginner, you don't want to spend on your supplies, like you don't want to buy too many things, you can always go for smaller jars, or you can even make your own gesso. So I'll post up the link of the video on the up of this video, where you can see how you can make your own gesso on like your own modeling paws and your own texture paste. Yes, even chalk paints and all can be done of your own. I will share up all the links in this video so that it's easier for you to find that. And even if you just scroll down to my channel, you can see varieties of video available, so that crafting becomes easier for you. Now I am almost done on the inner side. I'm just trying to cover up every space, because I am going to play around with so much of material here, and that's the reason I felt that I should have some nice gesso work on the base, so that it looks good. Once I start doing my work, it should look good.
À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'enfer, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'enfer, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter.
Now I have this beautiful musical note theme decoupage napkin, and this looks absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. And now I am going to trim this down. Now for trimming this, you have two options. Either you can trim it with your scissors, or you can do this brush water technique. This is a very simple technique. You just dip any of your fine round brush in water and make a border to the areas whichever you want to trim on your napkin, and then very softly you need to take it out. Now with this, of course, your napkin is going to be a little wet, but don't worry about it. You can use your heat gun to dry this out, and then you can remove the plies and stick it. Now I will be taking all the 3-4 lines what you can see on the screen, and I thought of using this on my tray on the borders of it. Now before using your decoupage napkins, you need to make sure that you remove the plies. That is really important. And yes, if you are using decoupage papers, you really don't need to remove any plies or anything, because they are just one layer of paper. Now with the napkins, they usually comes with 2 layers or 3 layers, so accordingly you will have to remove the plies.
À 2 doigts de nos lèvres, 2 doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à 2 doigts de nos lèvres, 2 doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter.
It's time to apply my Mod Podge, and here I'm using a matte finish Mod Podge which I absolutely love, and with a flat brush I'm going to stick it. Now as you can see that I don't have a very big chunk of napkin to stick here, because I have selected very few strips of my musical notes. So I'm going to stick this, and you need to be a little careful, and this is so easy to go because here we have a very small portion to stick. Now with the same flat brush I am going to stick my napkin, and I know I have not done the gesso on my complete tray very nicely, like I should have done more 2-3 layers, but I wanted to give a rustic look, and that's the reason I wanted to play around with the background also, like I mentioned earlier also. And as you have already seen that we are going to make this tray in a rustic kind of theme, and that's the reason I have not finished my layer with my gesso.
À 2 doigts de nos lèvres, 2 doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à 2 doigts de nos lèvres, 2 doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter. que j'ai presque pu le goûter, que j'ai presque pu le goûter, que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Impossible à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter, impossible à effacer, impossible à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter, impossible à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter, impossible à effacer.
Now it's time to play around with the colors. So here I have a teal blue color and then I'm going to have a green color. So in this tray I wanted to show you that how you can combine your chalk paints and your acrylic paints and create something really beautiful. It's not that you cannot combine these colors. You can always combine these colors and make something really nice, colorful and vintage here. Now I have taken a very broader flat brush. If you don't have this big broader flat brush, you can take the smaller brushes, and it's just that you will have to do this coat a more number of times, and with the broader ones it becomes much more easier. Now first I'm taking the blue color, then I'm taking the green color, and randomly I'm just going to smudge both the colors on my tray. I am going to make sure that I do not cover the complete tray because I want to have that white base look and feel on that. And as I mentioned earlier also, we have not done the proper 2-3 coats of gesso, so it is not proper white. It is in a shabby off white, and which looks perfectly. Now I will be repeating the same process of painting on my complete tray. And yes, if you want, you can do a bit of scrubbing work with your fingers and it's going to look absolutely fine. I will be doing the same work on the sides, the upper portions and the center of the tray also.
Le bonheur est passé à 2 doigts de nos lèvres, 2 doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'orfèvre des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à 2 doigts de nos lèvres, 2 doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'orfèvre des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Impossible à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter,
Now using my heat gun, my tray has dried out completely, and now it's time to move on to the next step. Now here I am going to do my script stamping, and I'm going to use two different stamps here. Now both these stamps are my custom made stamps, and these stamps are available on my Facebook page. That's in the name of Growing Craft, so you can buy it from there. Now here I am using a permanent ink pad, and with my script stamp I am trying to fill up all the empty spaces. This might look a bit tricky, but this is really fun to do. And yes, please do make sure that you use your permanent ink pads only. Otherwise, once you start smudging your color, your varnish, everything is going to smudge down. So just be a little careful and make sure you use a permanent ink pad wherever you want to have the permanent impressions of your stamp. Now here I am almost done with my script stamping, and I just felt that I should add some more stamping, some more detailing to it. So I will be using my polka dot stamp here. Now polka dot stamp is something which I have been using for like almost 4-5 years, and it's still the same. So you can know that how nice and sturdy my stamps are. Now I'm just adding a tinge of polka dot stencil stamp work on my tray, and I will try to cover up the top edges also, because I just feel that if your designs run around your tray completely, it looks really great. Now it's time to move on to a very fun technique. Now here what I have is a dye based ink pad, and I'm going to just rub it directly on my tray. Now why I am doing this and why I am not using a permanent ink pad, like I said, I want to have a nice rustic theme, and I wanted to add some brown color. So either I can blend this with my acrylic paints, or like as you have seen in the screen that how I just did the stamp work on the borders, and now I'm going to do my varnish. I'm not giving any time for my dye based inks to dry out, so that when I use my varnish on it, they are still wet and they smudge well. Now as you can see on the screen that the borders look darker here because I have used my ink pad, and the moment I add my varnish to it, they smudge so well, and this looks so natural and so rustic. Like, it's always an obvious thing that if you want to make something really beautiful, neat and clean, it's very easy. But if you want to make something really shabby, you need to work so hard for that. Now I am going to do the same varnish work on my complete tray. This is a really important step, and wherever I feel that I need to add some more stamping, I will do it, so that my color does not look like a very fresh one, something with a very shabby and a rustic look. Now here with this one coat of varnish, we will move on to the next step. The tray has dried out completely. It looks absolutely beautiful and gorgeous, and you can see that how beautiful my ink pad has blended well. So now it's time to move on. So now here I have taken up these vintage theme embellishments. These are the metal embellishments which I am going to stick on the sides of my tray. Now for using sticking this, I am going to use my Fevibond. So usually whenever you poke these brads, you need to spread it on one and the other direction, but here I will be folding this in one direction, so that when I stick it, I don't see any of the brad back sides. So I'll just show you on the screen. So this is how it should look like. You have to fold both the brads on one side, so that when you stick it, it does not come out. Now I will be using my Fevibond. So first I'll apply a coat of Fevibond, then I'll insert my brad. Then I am going to again apply a coat of Fevibond, and then I'll stick it on my tray. Now initially this will take a good 2 to 3 minutes of time. Make sure you press it well, make sure you stick it well, so that you can move on to the next step. Be really generous whenever you are using your adhesive, because that is something which always holds your project for a longer time. So please do make sure that you have applied your adhesives, your sealers really well to your project. So now this side is done, and in the same way we are going to redo the brad work on the other side of the tray. Now this is a completely optional thing. If you want, you can use any other metal embellishments to add a look and a feel of a vintage or a rustic theme, or you can play around with the floral themes, the flowers, or the beautiful embellishments which is available in the market. Now with the video description, I am going to add up all the supplies list, and I am also going to put up the link so that you can buy all these supplies from the market, and you can even place the orders online.
À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs.
Now I need to put my tray upside down, and I have these beautiful metal legs, and these are so adorable, and I have planned to use this. Now first I'm going to apply my adhesive on all the 4 feet so that I can start sticking it. As you know that my handle is a little bigger, so my tray is going to tilt, so that's the reason I'm having my adhesive on all the 4 legs, and then I'll stick it one together. Now for the complete sticking work, I'm using my Fevibond. If you have any other adhesive which you think is really good, you can use that, but I would prefer to have Fevibond because it lasts very long. Now very neatly and very safely I will start sticking my tray legs. Now as you can see that it's already started tilting because of the weight of my legs. Now here I'll stick all the 4, and then I will keep it just like that for at least 2 hours so that we can do our finishing work. This is how it looks after 2 hours. Everything has stuck so well, and it looks absolutely fab. Now it's time to seal my project. Now friends, many a times I have been asked, is it really important to varnish your project? Yes, it's absolutely important to varnish your project. Mod Podge is a adhesive, it's not a sealer. So yes, whenever you use your Mod Podge, it does not seal your project. Like if you use your damp cloth on Mod Podge, within few seconds you will realize that it has become sticky. So for sealing up your projects, you need to have a varnish. That's a very important thing. Now usually when we say varnish your project, we always mean that do at least 2 to 3 layers of varnish so that your project lasts longer, because in our day-to-day life we do not handle things so carefully every day. So that's the reason it's really important that you use 2 to 3 layers of varnish here. Now before doing each layer of varnish, you need to make sure that your base has dried out completely, and the time gap between the second and third layer of varnish should be of at least 6 to 7 hours. And yes, with this my video tutorial is done, and I'm going to just seal up the varnish on screen 1, and then off screen I'll be doing 2 coats of varnish to all my trays and all the sides and parts of my tray. Now with this our video tutorial is done, friend. I really hope that you all enjoyed this tutorial. This was a super fun and super exciting project for me. Please do let me know if you have any of your feedbacks or any of your suggestions that what project we should come up with. I really hope that you all are doing good, and be safe. Take care, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.
J'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à 2 doigts de nos lèvres, 2 doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter.